The hacker known as Guccifer has released some new documents. Last time it was Hillary Clinton, this time allegedly from House Minority Leader Nancy Pelosi, her personal computer. So one memo shows Democrats trying to dismiss the 2012 Benghazi terrorist attack. It reads in part, quote, Benghazi is not a tragedy, or Benghazi rather is a tragedy, not a scandal. At this point, most public discussion is pandering to conspiracy theorists or harping on the death of an American ambassador to score political points. With me now, one of the survivors, retired Sergeant John Teagan. Sergeant, thank you very much for the time. If this email did in fact come from Nancy Pelosi, do you feel like it is dismissive of the attack?
Well, of course it is. That's what they do all the time. They want to sweep it under the rug and make it go bye-bye. So they're going to say and do anything just like Hillary does.
The document also says that UN Ambassador Susan Rice, quote, gave incorrect information on television in the aftermath of the attack. So it sounds as if not everybody was on the same page. What do you make of what looks like a planned inconsistency? In other words, to make Rice go on TV without having all the facts?
Well, I think she had all the facts. I mean, she was at the funeral of the four Americans coming home. So, and, you know, Hillary knew that night it was a terrorist attack, so I don't know how Susan Rice didn't know it was a terrorist attack from the get-go. I mean, if they really want to squash all the conspiracy theories, release the consulate video that they have, because they have it. We've seen it.
You've seen it personally?
Yeah, we've seen it. We got to see it before they kiboshed everybody else watching it.
What did it show that the public does not know?
There wasn't no protest. I mean, just from right there, you know, they knew from the very beginning that it was never a protest. I mean, even the video showed it wasn't a protest.
Sergeant, another leaked memo from Pelosi's personal computer appears to be an admission that the Obama administration's policies helped to create ISIS. So I'm going to again quote here, our invasion created the atmosphere for a Jordanian to start a Muslim sectarian war, which ultimately created ISIS. And the memo went on to say the situation, quote, worsened after U.S. troops left Iraq, helping quickly deteriorate the situation further. So in some ways, Pelosi appears to agree with Donald Trump's stance in stark contrast to what she has said publicly. What do you make of that inconsistency?
Well, as I said, it's just the same thing. They're going to say anything that's going to please the public. And, you know, they're downplaying the threat of ISIS. And, I mean, anybody that's in the military knows that, you know, you just can't send planes over there. You have to actually have guys that know what they're doing to take them out.
Well, that's interesting because that's another memo, and I'm just going through them. There's a whole stack I have, but that the president refused to send U.S. infantry forces, which is exactly your point, Sergeant, to go to Iraq and Syria. And there's a quote, airstrikes alone won't defeat ISIS. So, again, inconsistent. Yeah,
I mean, that's why you have the Army and the Marines and only one Air Force. You know, because you need ground troops to conquer. I mean, not to really conquer, but to destroy the enemy. You know, and, you know, us invading Iraq didn't cause, you know, ISIS. Them pulling out the way their policies were is what caused ISIS. I mean, if that just had that vacuum, you know, you dump all the military equipment to the Iraqis, and all they did, they get up and took off and ran. So now you have a terrorist organization with, you know, top-of-the-line military equipment.
Sergeant, what is the most important piece of information you would like the next commander-in-chief to understand? You were there, you survived, you're responsible for yourself and your troops. What information has not filtered up as it should?
That's the thing. I mean, it just seems like it hasn't filtered up. I mean, Hillary says, oh, I didn't know about the stuff going on in Benghazi. Well, that's telling you, well, maybe you need to fire the guys below you and listen to the guys on the ground, because obviously your pencil pushers aren't. So to me, the next thing from Commander-in-Chief is to listen to the guys on the ground, listen to the generals that are overseas actually in the fight, instead of a pencil pusher back in D.C. trying to make sure you look good.
Sergeant, as many people point out, listening is the key to leadership. We thank you wholeheartedly for your service and for your time.
Oh, yeah, thank you. Appreciate
Sergeant Teagan with me.